What secrets is Lake Charles hiding? How about the only white sand inland beach between Texas and Florida, and it's visible from Interstate 10? Or that Lake Charles Port leases the land to the Golden Nugget and Laberge casinos. I think the port hit the jackpot. Let's see what other secrets Lake Charles has. City steeped in history, culture, and culinary delights. With a population of almost 85,000, Lake Charles is a blend of contrast, old and new, Cajun personality with a Texas swagger. Inland, but they have beaches, almost devastated by the fire of 1910, Hurricane Rita in 2005, and Hurricanes Laura and Delta within weeks of each other in 2020. The people here don't give up and keep coming back stronger. Those hurricanes in 2020 within weeks of each other affected almost every single building in Lake Charles. This is a current map in 2024 of the blue tarps that are still on houses. This is homes that you can see from the interstate that today in 2024 have still not been repaired. The Capital One Tower opened in 1983 as a CM Tower for the Calcasieu Marine National Bank. This building cost $45 million and is the tallest building in Lake Charles with 22 stories. With over 400,000 square feet of office space, it is sat vacant since the hurricanes in 2020. The owners of the Capital One Tower, Hertz Investment Group, have been involved in a lawsuit with their insurance company. The city finally gave them a deadline of November 2024 for Hertz Investment Group to repair or demolish the building before they take action. Just down the street is the Lake Charles Civic Center. Built in 1972, the Civic Center stands on property that used to be underwater. The city pumped out the water and created this area. Did you know there's a ship buried on the property? The Borealis Rex is a paddle wheel steamship built in 1888 and sunk in 1918 during a major hurricane. On the lakefront, beside the Civic Center, a memorial to 9/11 was built using the steel beams from the World Trade Center and limestone from the Pentagon. Adjoining this memorial is a statue of Captain Daniel Goose. There truly is something for everyone in Lake Charles. The marina is across the street from Millennium Park, which was designed for the children of Lake Charles. In 2011, the park burned down as a result of arson. It was rebuilt only to be damaged again with the hurricanes in 2020. Today, the park includes play areas including fossils, a Takapaw tribe, village, pirate ships, a sawmill, lighthouses, steamers, along with wooden derricks. And don't forget the splash pad. What a great way for the children to learn about the history of Lake Charles. Let's explore Veterans Memorial Park. It's a memorial to the Air Force, Coast Guard, Marines, Navy, and Army. You're going to see a World War II Patton tank, and unfortunately, you were going to see a helicopter, but that was badly damaged by Hurricanes Laura and Delta in 2020, so it's no longer here. In the distance, you can see Bilbo Cemetery with the Millennium Statue of Christ. This is one of the oldest cemeteries in Lake Charles. John Jacob Ryan is buried here. Across the lake of Lake Charles is Horseshoe Casino, opened in December of 2022. This was the location of the former Isle of Capri, a floating casino riverboat. The riverboat was actually damaged by Hurricane Laura, and it ended up lodged under the I-10 bridge. Now we see the Visitor Center and the Children's Museum, Port Wonder, along with the Wildlife and Fisheries, which will be opening summer of 2024. Let's head downtown on Ryan Street. The Travel Channel lists the Lake Charles Calcasieu Parish Courthouse as one of the 10 most haunted places in America. It's said to be haunted by the ghost of Tony Jo Henry, who was sentenced to death for murdering a man in 1940. She became the only woman executed in Louisiana's electric chair in 1942 in this courthouse. They say that she never ever left. There are reports of electrical outlets not working, doors locking. Just down Ryan Street, you'll find the Charleston Hotel, built in 1929. It is 10 stories tall, and today it is apartments and an event space. Across from the Calcasieu Marine Bank building from 1929, you will see the statue of the working man, a tribute to all of the men and women who work in the industries of Southwest Louisiana. The inspiration was a 1950s man leaving work after the whistle blows, tired but content after a hard day's work. Let's talk more about the fire in 1910. It started on April 23rd behind a soda shop and the French Opera House. Over 109 buildings were destroyed, both residential and businesses. It was 2 blocks long and over a half a mile long. Some of the prominent buildings that were destroyed included the courthouse, City Hall, St. Clair Hotel, the Catholic Church, the school, the convent, and the rectory. In 1878, Julie Muller lost her husband to the yellow fever epidemic. She was a widow with 2 young children. She moved to Lake Charles and in 1882 opened a small mercantile and actually lived in the back. She expanded and in 1913 opened Muller's department store at the corner of Ryan Street and Division Street. Muller's was a family business until it closed in 1986. The building was renovated and opened as lofts with a few retail and offices in 2006. Wow, how many women owned businesses in 1880? This lineman statue is dedicated to the many linemen and women who worked tirelessly to restore electricity after those devastating hurricanes in 2020. The Cathedral of the Immaculate Conception was originally established as a parish in 1869. The first church was damaged by a hurricane in 1879, and the second church building was destroyed by the fire of 1910. The current church building was built in 1913. Originally the home to the Attakapas peoples, then settlers from France and Spain. In 1781, Charles Sallier built a home on the shores of the lake that later became known as Charles Lake. The town that grew on these shores was originally called Charlestown, Charleston. In 1869, both the lake and the town became known as Lake Charles. The downtown streets are named for some of the founding fathers, Jacob Ryan and Samuel Kirby. Here is a Sallier oak, a live oak tree that's over 375 years old. You can see it on the grounds of the Imperial Calcasieu Museum. Did you know that there was a legend that the famous pirate Jean Lafitte befriended Charles Sallier and his wife Catherine? Charles became jealous and ended up shooting Catherine, believing that she was having an affair with the pirate. Charles then fled, never to be seen again, but Catherine actually survived because the bullet lodged in her brooch. The brooch with the embedded bullet remains a treasured heirloom. From 1894 to 1926, as many as 4 steel rail streetcar lines served Lake Charles, providing at one time 24-hour transit service for the residents. Lake Charles has over 400 structures in the Sharp and J Historic District. The Kirby Street and Peugeot Street neighborhood have many homes that were constructed between the 1800s through the 1930s. The Broad Street neighborhood is home to several commercial buildings like the post office and the courthouse, along with homes dated back to 1885. Here on the corner of Broad Street and Kirkman, you see the Pure Oil gas station, built in 1920. This is a Chester Brown house built in 1904, and next door is the home built in 1905. This next home at 1025 Broad is the home of Louisiana Governor Sam Houston Jones. Peugeot Street has homes dating all the way back to 1880. South Division Street is the home to the Central Place neighborhood. This neighborhood was considered a very prestigious neighborhood that developed with large, elegant homes in distinctive styles. Welcome to the Germantown neighborhood. In the 1840s and 50s, one of the largest groups to settle on Lake Charles came from the North German coast. They were led here by the Goose family, who settled in Upper Lake Charles, named as Gooseport. The Germans were experienced shipbuilders and lumbermen, and they left lots of wonderful homes for you to see in the houses and structures. 503 Moss, the Alfred Reed House, was built in 1891. The turret is called a witch's hat. As we're driving around these neighborhoods, I'm sure you're seeing some homes that look like they're abandoned, and some of them are. They also have those blue tarps from the hurricanes. Welcome to Park Avenue, the Margaret Place Historic District. Back in the early 1800s, the original landowner was a French veteran of the Napoleonic Wars who immigrated to Louisiana. He bought this land for a barrel of whiskey and 2 good blankets. Later, this property was developed with homes and apartments built after the 1910 fire. Some of these homes are actually Sears and Roebuck kit homes. Lake Charles has their own university. Originally a junior college, McNeese opened in 1939 with 140 students and only 3 buildings. The next year, the school changed its name to John McNeese Junior College. In 1950, McNeese University became a 4-year college. The mascot of McNeese is Rowdy, the cowboys and cowgirls. While you're in Lake Charles, be sure and stop for some lunch at the Crying Eagle Brewing Company. This location is actually just down the street from the McNeese Stadium, but they're also building a second location downtown on the lakeshore. I was actually there for their brunch menu. This microbrewery has lots of different beers, great food, and live entertainment. Nestled along the scenic Shell Beach Drive lies a hidden gem of Lake Charles history. Did you know that this lakefront area once started as nothing more than a humble path made from dirt and oyster shells? Along this historic route, adorned with majestic live oaks, stand the grand antebellum homes that have witnessed centuries unfold. Did you know this corner of Louisiana is the newest part of the state? After Louisiana had been admitted to the Union in 1812, this area was the famous no man's land of pirates and renegades. It was the neutral strip between Mexico and the U.S. In 1829, the U.S. Army opened a military post on Charlie's Lake. The Sabine River was finally recognized as the international boundary between the Mexican state of Texas and the United States. Every year, Lake Charles recognizes their unique history and the ties to Jean Lafitte. Legend has it that Lafitte would hide in the waterways of Lake Charles. His favorite hideout was the bayou, now named Contraband Bayou. They say his treasure of gold and silver is buried here. In 1957, the city and businessmen formed Lake Charles Contraband Days, which is now known as the Louisiana Pirate Festival. In June of 1958, they organized a boat parade, water show, and boat races. It now has developed into 12 days of fun. The first night starts out with a bang as cannons fire, trying to defend the city from the pirates. The pirates capture the mayor, hold a trial, and force the mayor to walk the plank. Everyone dresses as pirates, talks like pirates, and of course you need a pirate name. Mine is Squinty Tuff the Pegleg. The stately 905 Shell Beach Drive home is actually home to the Barb House. It was erected in 1829. This land is also where the original Charles Sallier cabin was built. Across the pathway, you would find the vibrant Barb Pleasure Pier. This was a bustling hub of entertainment and leisure. In its heyday in 1900, this pier boasted a theater, casino, and dance hall, drawing crowds seeking merriment and diversion. It also served as one of the stops of the streetcar line, symbolizing its prominence in Lake Charles' cultural tapestry. The homes along Shell Beach Drive have lots of history. Some of it's true and some are rumors and legends. It's one of those places where you wish these walls could actually talk. Today, The homes have a magnificent view of Lake Charles and the lake. The homeowners decorate for many of the holidays, and at Christmas time, you can take a carriage ride and enjoy all the festive lights and decorations. Shell Beach Drive actually ends at Marine Street, and just down here is where the port is located for Lake Charles. Now let's turn around and show you what the view is these homes have of the lake. As we drive, you can see that many of these homes have a boathouse that actually reflects the same style as their main home. If you like this video, please click the like button below and subscribe. Have you ever been to Lake Charles, Louisiana? If so, let me know in the comments. Is there anything that I missed that are secrets of Lake Charles? Safe travels!